Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Firefighters podcast, where we seek to develop, inspire, and motivate the world of the emergency services operator through a series of wide-ranging conversations. Now, before we go any further, just hit that rate, follow, or subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to. It's a key performance indicator for us and helps us reach even more people. Now, here's what we've got for you today. Today, we're going to continue with our high-rise masterclass series on Brent Brooks, and this episode goes straight into, literally from the jump, one of the hardest parts of high-rise firefighting, that's search, survivability, and decision-making when the building just feels like it's working against you. So for anyone who wants to go back and listen to the earlier parts of this mini-series, because we've accidentally unchunked them, you need to go back to 477, which is episode 1, and episode 2 is 480. Those episodes build the foundation for a lot of what we continue to unpack today. Also, my bad for the gap. Last installment was a little bit before this one. Life happened, and I got a little bit sidetracked. As ever with the podcast, we've got so much stuff. We've got stuff from Australia that's still need to come out, stuff from Atlanta early in the year. There's even some stuff from Intersect Dubai, which is great. Just means we need to try and get a bit more organized. I want to say me. Plus, maybe it keeps everybody on their toes a little bit. You never know quite what's coming out on the next episode. We do have one final short episode of this mini-series still to come, so stand by for that one coming soon. As a reminder, support and resources for this mini-series are available in the downloadable link below. It's free. It's in the episode notes. Go and check the link out because there is some really useful material that sits alongside these conversations, all the episode content for this one, the slides and the imagery from Brent. That's in there as well. So in this episode, Brent's going to take us deeply into the reality of what no fire department in the world honestly has enough people to do everything at once. So we've got to be thinking about fire attack, whether it's ventilation, might be evacuation, maybe it's shelter in place, maybe it's search and rescue. All of that is competing for our attention and our tactical objectives. All of it's urgent, obviously, and all of it is happening inside a building where maybe a single open door or even a single broken window can completely change the conditions. Brent's going to share the story of 200 Wellesley Street, which is one we've actually covered as a debrief before. This was an 8-hour high-rise fire in Toronto that changed the way he thought about fire attack, flow path, door control, and areas of refuge. He explained how crews were nearly killed, how occupants shaped the fire ground without even realizing it, and how a single visual cue from a deaf resident saved one life while instantly changing the conditions for firefighters in the corridor. We're also going to get into the uncomfortable truth about high-rise search. The people we are looking for are not always behind closed compartment doors. Think about that and have a think about how you currently search if you're going through high-rise blocks. The people we're looking for, they're often in common areas, lift lobbies, corridors, stairwells, and places of confusion. Brent challenges the traditional idea of searching every closed door during a primary search. During our first search, when we send in our crew in, are they checking closed doors? And if so, why? He explains that why in some conditions and how that tactical decision in the compartment can create more danger than it solves, certainly for the occupant. The conversation is practical, the presentation is strong, it's honest, it's really seriously thought-provoking, and Brent speaks pretty quickly, even by my standards. We're going to cover evacuation versus shelter in place. We're going to cover people with disabilities. We go a little bit into stack effect, piston effect. He covers positive pressure, door control, goes to a little bit of hose management as well, and the importance of building better habits before the incident arrives. These high-rise conferences, I really can't stress enough. They're not about having perfect answers for every single building. They're about understanding the variabilities, reading conditions, speaking as an open group, challenging those assumptions, and making better decisions under pressure. As always, share this with your crew, listen in with your crew, challenge your assumptions, challenge my assumptions, and ask yourself one question throughout this episode. If this happened on your patch tomorrow, would your current plan survive contact with the building? This is episode 3, High-Rise Masterclass with Brent Brooks. See you on the other side.
Fine, I'm going to get into search operations for high-rise. It's lacking. We know ventilation's lacking. We know search is lacking. We do have some strategies for that, but I'm hoping it connects the dots. You talked about ventilation, you talked about isolation, so I want to kind of include that so our speakers, we can all be on the same page. But I can tell you from 31 years with Toronto Fire, I've never, ever been to a high-rise building with a landlord or superintendent can tell me that everything's out of the building and accounted for, including the commercial properties. There's somebody living in here. There's someone going through a separation or a divorce. There's always someone. There's cleaning staff and maintenance. There's always people in the building. So we just just never assume that is vacant. But we need help. There's no fire department in the world that is capable of doing search, of doing ventilation, of doing fire attack, and doing evacuation and shelter in place. It's just not possible. So we need assistance from the life safety director. We need assistance from other people, people with disabilities. We need caregivers. We need to work together. We need to share our messages and get on the same page. This is the give me a second, Petronas building. So I was there and I'm looking at their floor plates. So their floor plates are done by weight. So the more weight in the building, their air conditioning actually adjusts to it. So this room would become cooler just because of the amount of weight that's in it. It's quite neat technology. They can open and close dampers as well during fire conditions. So they can build safe buildings. It's just, well, you know why we don't. So do we evacuate and muster, or do we evacuate and disperse? Do we shelter in place? Do we, we always have this, you got to pick a side. Well, there is no sides really, right? So depending on evacuate and muster, well, that would be a children's school, right? You have a teacher that's responsible for those kids. We're going to muster. You have a commercial high-rise building. Well, if you evacuate, you want to disperse. So your occupancy and the type of building tells you what your strategy is. Don't pigeonhole it. Is this here? Do you guys know where that is? It's here, isn't it? Okay, because no one else has those signs. So are you surprised that you have the same problems that we have in Canada with falling debris, falling glass? Are you going to evacuate and muster? Are you going to evacuate and disperse? Or are you going to shelter in place because you have falling glass on the exterior and it's to your alpha side? These are the audibles that we have to think about. Don't be so quick to make a snap decision until you understand the big picture. We may have to go to the Charlie side of the building. We may decide to shelter in place. That's these variables that we're talking about. Yeah, if anyone knows where that is, it'd be curious, because I have the audio to that, and it's thunderous when that glass hits the bottom. Your brains of the building, your panel tells you a lot. So if you say, well, okay, we have a fire on the 25th floor, we're going to evacuate the fire, or 2 floors above, 3 floors above, whatever your strategy is. I mean, that's predetermined. This is what we're going to do if we get a fire in the building. Okay, I get that. But we become more critical thinkers, and this is an alarm, and then this one's an alarm. Do you have the staffing to deal with this and to deal with this when your problem is actually up here because the stairwell door is open? This tells you where to evacuate, where to shelter in place. Does that make sense?
I think the difference in the UK, Brent, is we don't put fire alarms in residential buildings.
Man, you guys love challenges, don't you? I love it.
Just to keep
hey, what about like Paris or something up, like the old mine system? Well, this is exciting because where I'm from, I can see the pull station, I can see the heat detector, I can see the sprinkler head, I can see whether or not the fire department's flowing, and I can see a duct alarm. If I pull up to a building and I see a pull station and none of these are activated, it's probably malicious, right? If I pull up and I see a sprinkler head and this going, we have a fire. I'm upping it right off the hop, right? Multiple detectors, we're gonna up it right off the hop. So it tells you a lot. The area of refuge, the area of science. Do you do door counts? Do you go 2 floors below and count doors? Is that part of your thing? You get off the elevator, you come out. Okay, there's apartment 603, fires at 803, and we count doors. So if shit goes bad or caca goes bad, we know which way to go. Do you do that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, and a lot of people do that. Again, through feedback, through talking about firefighters and sharing their story, and I'll share my story with you. The door count goes right out the window when you're being cooked. It goes right out the window. It might be in my face. It might be in the mask. That goes out the window as well. So all these theories that we come up with, and we still do door counts. I'm not saying not to do it. It adds another safety layer. But I can tell you when you're getting cooked, all that goes out the window. You probably already forgot your door count just by watching this. So I want to explain what happened at 200 Wellesley Street.
It is beyond a privilege to be able to bring the Firefighters podcast to you, and we are so grateful for every single person that supports, listens, shares, and follows our journey. And to help us keep doing it, create more, reach more guests internationally, and make the podcast sustainable, we're asking for you to help. And to do this, we've set up a Patreon page. By joining our Patreon community, you will get access to every single full episode archive we have ever made. Now, hundreds and hundreds of key documents that we've got in there on fire behavior, firefighter health, cancer risks, instant debriefs, and so much more. So if you feel like you want to join the Patreon crew and help us make this possible, head to patreon.com/TFFPC or check the link in any episode podcast notes.
Back in 2010, you couldn't teach me anything more about high-rise firefighting. You couldn't. I was on a dedicated high-rise unit. That's all we did was write high-rise fire, go to high-rise fires. We pull up to 200 Wellesley Street. That fire wasn't there at the time. This fire's there. We're still in the elevator talking about dinner. And we're like, this is going to delay us a little bit, but that's okay. We have a plan. We'll get pump 332 to come up and we'll get our chicken, right? So this was an 8-hour high-rise fire, multiple firefighter near maydays and multiple near misses. It's kind of an unprecedented fire. If we look at that fire, I took all the audio and I wrote it verbatim. I'm studying. This is my fire. Because over my career, being on the high-rise unit, yeah, it's tough. You're going down a hallway. You're getting beat up. To me, it's fun. Like, I really enjoy it. If you like to play hockey, you like to play sports, you want a challenge, I didn't mind this. But at the end of all this, they said, that's high-rise firefighting. If it's wind impact with the flow path, you're going to get beat up. That's just the acceptance of it. But this is the fire that changed. It changed my career because today, we run our fires exactly like this. It was a flawlessly run fire. Exactly the same. So it's a flawlessly run fire. Why did it take 8 hours to extinguish it? Or actually knock it down? And it did structural damage and never left the apartment of origin. So it's one of those weird fires. So this is what it looked like. The first in crew, ×2. They lost 1 to elevator control. They're going up with 5 firefighters. The drivers are staying with the truck. We didn't do the wet test back in the day. We're just going to rely on the building system, taking it easy, waiting for a report. This is a crystal clear hallway. We saw what looked like a balcony fire on the exterior. They come up to the door. They hook up the house line. They get ready to open it. John opens the door 8 inches with a line with water in it. They open the door 8 inches. The nozzle firefighters getting burnt. 4 firefighters bailed to this stairwell here. John, who works Regent Park, very experienced, he's in that position. He's flowing the line. He's right-handed. So when shit hits the fan, he has to abandon the line and run for his life. He naturally goes where? He naturally goes to the right. John said, as soon as I went to the right, I knew I was done. I knew he was done for. So this hallway is actually 2 buildings attached. So it's 200 feet. I think that's 50 by another 200. It's a giant building. And this fire chases John down the hallway. 4 firefighters get in here. They're safe. That's area refuge. That's your anchor point. They're good. They had that time of decision making because they weren't the one being cooked, right? They weren't under that stressful conditions. So that's what it looks like outside the apartment. It's unsurvivable. That's what it looks like down the hallway. And you can see by the charring, heat is top to bottom and starts to roll up here. It's still unsurvivable. But this is floor to ceiling flames, and then it rolls up the wall. What do you think that is?
In the air?
It was going out the exit. Yeah, that's exactly it. Well done. Perfect. And then that's 400 feet away. So it's unsurvivable. So if we look at John's thing of rescue, and John said, I went down and I passed the first door and being cooked. It hurts. He's being burnt. He goes, I didn't make it to the second door and I gave up. He gets in the fetal position and he's ready to die. He gets in the fetal position and he's burning and he rolls out and he falls into this room here. Thank God that this is, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to say it's low income, but they took the automatic door closures off the doors. Have you guys heard this before? It only happens in Canada, or does it happen here? So the automatic door closure is missing. That's what saved his life. John falls into a door. There's no automatic door closure on it. He stands up in crystal clear conditions, rips his gear off because he's burnt, and the flames are rocketing by the door, and the smoke is swirling. And he's like, what the heck's going on? We have crews that can't even, this is an untenable hallway. He's 2 doors down, completely off air. Doesn't call a mayday because it wasn't cool to do that back then. gets his shit together, and he's just basically now he's in watching this fire happen off air. This is important to note. So we changed our practice because of what happened to John. The door comes with two hour fire rating. We come up and we put a door control strap on the door, and we're only going to open that door an inch and an eighth. Why do you think we only open it an inch and an eighth? Yes! Bingo, gold star. We only open an eighth and an inch because that's the size of our stream. If smoke is down to the doorknob, the full potential goes on top of it. That stream hits the ceiling. Is it still a smooth bore? Or does it turn to a giant pizza slice? And does it track at 60 miles an hour to hit what? What is this? Glass. What happens when glass is superheated and we hit it with something cold? It breaks. What happens if it breaks and is when impacted? Where do you feel that effect? Right there. That's exactly what happened at 200 Wellesley Street. His stream caused that to happen, but we were using a fog nozzle back then. Story for another day. So now if that happens, who holds the door control strap? The nozzle firefighter or the backup? The backup. So when you run, the door gets shut. Now we contained the smoke and heat into the hallway simply by opening up that door an inch and 1/8. Total game changer. That's how our fires went from 6 to 16 minutes to 6 seconds. We're putting 265 gallons per minute in the room. Every 13 seconds, we're filling a 55-gallon drum. Fire requires a certain amount of water to put it out. You can either flow it for 6 minutes or 6 seconds. Your call. Well, that's how we've been able to determine that. We talked about what we call it exothermic, endothermic. You called it passive and active. Just make that problem go away. When you're cooking something in the oven, you turn it off. So now you can open the oven and just get right inside it. No, that oven has to cool down. So we just throw and we cool it with copious amounts of water. So I want to talk about fire attack. I want to talk about flow path. I want to talk about ventilation. Let's listen to this guy here.
What we have here is a one-bedroom condo with a hallway. This simulates a hallway. This simulates a bedroom. We're going to light this bedroom on fire. We're going to put the lid on, and it's going to be contained in the fire unit. We can open this window, and nothing's going to happen in here other than the fire is going to continue to grow. You can close this window and open this door. The same thing's going to happen. It's just going to continue to grow, continue to get hot. When we open a window and a door, and it's wind impacted, we're going to get a flow path, and that's what's dangerous to firefighters in the hallway. And we're going to simulate that once we get it nice and hot. Exactly what happened here is what happened at Wellesley Street. If John opened that door, by him opening the door, it just completed that flow path, and that's what's dangerous to firefighters in the hallway.
I just want to note too that door was on a dowel, so it was only cracked, and there was that much flames coming out. Now I know I assisted it with a blower, but I'm telling you, when you hear John's story, that's exactly what he felt. So a flow path is when you have a high pressure to low pressure. That makes sense. That's how our weather patterns work. If we have a fire in this unit here and all the doors are closed, do we have a flow path? We open this hallway door, but all the doors remain closed, including the stairwells. Do we have a flow path? Right. It's going to flow in the corridor until it builds up. Right? Exactly. And then it pauses. Yes, exactly. See, our vernacular is the same. It's just we say it differently. Exactly what you said. If we open a window, that doesn't change either. It just makes that process happen that much quicker. Now, if we open a door on any side, on the opposite side of the fire, what happens? Inlet, exit, flow path, trouble. Vidalia Walk, New York City. 3 firefighters died. The first time that we know of that 3 firefighters died from thermal shock. Unlike my buddy John, who was in the fetal position, where a lot of firefighters are found, they were in the running position. So when you go back to that prop where the blowtorch is in the hallway, yeah, it's probably pretty realistic. And it's scary to think about. And it's a horrible, horrible thing to think about. And if you study the Vidalia Walk fire, the OV, which is the roof people, this isn't the layout, by the way, but it's similar. They had the flow path going to the stairwell, and they had it going up, which allowed this crew to come down the hallway in okay conditions. It was the occupant on the opposite side that opened the door when they heard the crew passed that instantly cooked them. And the occupant perished as well. They're in the flow path.
MSA are supporting us on today's podcast, and I chose to partner with them because I've been wearing this stuff for nearly 20 years, and they are the global leader in development, manufacture, and supply of incredible, safe products that really protect people, not just our communities out there, but also first responders, most importantly, all over the world. Get yourself over to MSA and have a look at it. The high-performance protective clothing for emergency services responders. They also partner with us on the UK Pink Firefighters. It's because we love them. The helmets with the reflective visor, the F1XF, absolutely epic helmet. And not forgetting how they improve firefighter safety through their connectivity in the connected firefighter platform. MSA are always pushing the envelope, and it's a real privilege to be able to continue to grow our partnership together. So whether it's your PPE, your bunker gear, your helmets, your SCBA, your thermal imaging, your Luna, or your portable gas detection, both of us know that this equipment needs to work. It needs to be high quality, reliable, and dependable in the moment. And that's why I use MSA, because they know what's at stake.
So let's go back to John. If John would have went in any of these units here on the same side of the building, wind impacted fire, John would have been safe. Exactly what he experienced. These two are questionable. The questionable ones, and it goes back to Russ and your thing with people with disabilities or a person who's trapped. When I go in that building as an area refuge or to visit someone, and I'm going to talk about a palliative care person where we couldn't move, we're going to close this door. If we see smoke coming in, we close these windows. If we open these windows, we don't see any smoke, we keep it open. It's 50-50. If John would have went into any of these buildings on the opposite side, he would have created that flow path, and we'd be talking about a line of duty death, not a near miss. I've also circled this one right here. So I was driving the chief, so it was the high-rise crew that got into trouble. The high-rise captain was stepping up to the chief. He goes, Brooks, you come drive me for the day. There's no one off on the high-rise truck. So we got the chief, myself, and we got the 4 crew all at the same fire. We're going to rock this because this is what we do. So the fire got so bad, we were down on 17 with the RIT team. That's how the smoke banked down. Plus there's a secondary fire from fallen debris. And Jimmy Green, the chief, said, Brooks, if we get a mayday and the fire's on 24 and we're on 17, we're in trouble. So we went up to the 22nd, which was zero visibility. We broke into a room, closed the door, and a mom and her daughter were in there so happy to see us. They made us, we call them church sandwiches, where you cut the crust off. They gave us water. We're having a great time. We're sheltering in place 2 floors below the fire in untenable conditions because smoke is fully down to 17. Zero visibility, lights out. So John's in his area refuge, 2 doors down. We're in our area refuge on the 22nd floor. And this gentleman here wasn't in an area refuge, and his death would have been imminent, but we saw what was happening from this vantage point. This is his apartment unit door. We're right across from the fire unit. The flow path is created, the draw was created because he exited on the balcony and kept the door open. So there's our draw. It burns through, and now we have flame impingement. And we're yelling at him, close the door, close the door, close the door. We talk about people with disabilities. He was deaf. So all the yelling we did absolutely nothing. Another lady who was in an area of refuge yells up at us. He's deaf. He can't hear you. And I kid you not, this is exactly what I did. Oop. So I did that. So what does he do? Instantly turns around and shuts the door. Yes, I just saved someone's life. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm still happy about it. So I saved this gentleman's life, simply giving him a visual cue. But what do you think I did by saving his life? I cooked 3 firefighters instantly in the hallway. It took the next path of least resistance. They're on a 65 millimeter hose line with fog nozzle, fully deployed. We have other abandoned lines in the hallway, and the high-rise crew bails back. We're 200 feet away. They make the left. It's spaghetti of hoses because all the cabinets are hooked up. Firefighter 1 passes it. Fire Captain 2 passes it. The 3rd firefighter comes down to the 22nd floor, runs into us, and he's burnt, and he can't even tell us. We know something bad's happened because of the condition that we found him in. We call the mayday. This firefighter calls the mayday, but says he's on the wrong floor. The RIT team goes up. They end up finding him, and they pull him down We rip his clothes off, we put him on oxygen, we send him down with another crew, and we're relieved. And then we realize, uh-oh, we're missing our captain. So we called a Mayday on the captain's behalf. John, the firefighter here, when the flow path went from here initially to out this guy's unit, he masked up, went to the center staircase, and went down. So he self-rescued. Still no Maydays called. It was, like I said, it wasn't cool back then. So now that I told this guy to shut this door, this flow path has changed, drove these firefighters out. John, the guy that self-rescued, has a new air bottle on and here's the Mayday. We're very close friends. He tells his crew, mask up, we're going to the fire floor. The elevator door opens in the lobby and they put the elevator out with the occupant hose and they get in the elevator. We would not do this today, by the way. He gets in the elevator, he goes directly to the fire floor. The door opens up. Flow path is even worse now. Elevator control gets burnt, but they pull the captain into the elevator and they get out of there. Saved his life. Both those guys are actually reprimanded and written up for it. That's a story for another day. But this is crazy. This is crazy. Flow paths and area refuge created by us and the occupants simply by opening and closing a door. So that's the parquet floor on the floor above. It's settled. There's structural damage done to it. And there is... what was that, the policies and procedures you were saying you had? National Fire. Yeah, that's what he had in there. So it still had 6 feet of debris to burn in that building. I kid you not. 2 feet had burnt in 8 hours and there's still 6 feet. And you could pick up a page and you could read it front to back. Isn't that crazy to think about? There's a conspiracy theorist. So let's just make sure we're clear on this. The same side of the fire, if it's wind impacted, the entire building is 50% safe. The other side is not. So when you start doing search and rescue, are you searching the safe side or the bad side? We're going to get into it. All right, you must learn from the mistakes of others. You'll never live long enough to make them all yourself. This is why it's critical for us to do these conferences, to get together and share our stories, because you may never have heard this before. Let's talk about, not Cook County, but this is Nancy Clay, age 31, Jimmy Davis, Chicago fire. Several years ago, a young woman was working late and was trapped in a high-rise fire. She called the fire dispatchers and had her last cries for help recorded. Help, please save me. I'm trapped on the 20th floor of a high-rise building, 111 East Drive. The fire is raging. I don't know where the exits are. Please send help. This is important. I'm in the northeast corner of the high-rise building at 111 East Drive on the 20th floor. Help me, I'm going to die. The Chicago Fire Department was unfairly criticized for not rescuing this woman who was trapped and who died in a high-rise fire. Search and rescue during this raging fire was 20,000 square feet floor plate area and contained 156 rooms and took more than an hour to search. The public and many firefighters did not know how difficult, how dangerous, and most importantly, how much time it takes to search for a trapped victim in a high-rise building. A lot of words there. She knew her address, she knew her floor, and she knew her geographical location. So you can see the criticism there that the Chicago Fire Department took. Remember, we're the end user. We're going to take that criticism initially, but then as critical thinkers and open-minded people, we start to peel that onion back, and we realize 156 rooms. And we're doing what is traditionally known as a residential search, where we do a right hand or a left hand, your preference, you pick. We get to a door, we force a door, we go in, and we continue that process. You're in a dirty hallway. How many doors can you get down? You're going to run out of air. What does that next crew look when they have to take over? Really, it's mathematically impossible to search that until the fire's out. You know the cornfield idea, that whole corn thing? But we have to do it. We have to come up with a solution, and I believe we have. So let's work this out. We have a fire in Unit 10. Where do we search first? Any idea?
Well, it depends whether you're searching or evacuating.
Okay, let's say search.
Yeah, because evacuation.
9 and 10?
9 and 11.
9 and 11? Okay. This side? 3, 4, 5? Okay, well, okay. I like that, above and below. I'll take that as an answer. Because if we search any of these, come on, what are we going to find? It's going to be clear. And if we do find someone in them, what are we going to do? Hello, sorry to bother you, letting some smoke into your unit here, but yeah, I hate to be you right now, right? Or you give an evacuation hood. You have options. But depending on the temperature, can you tell the temperature in a hallway as a firefighter? Not without a thermal imaging. And it's the surface you're touching, not the, you get that. So these units on the other side, what would happen? Yes, you got it. You create that flow path. So here's the easy thing for search. We don't search closed doors in a high-rise building. Now we're on to something. 156 rooms. We do something what's called a snow plow. Cabin's in the middle, this camera. They're shoulder to shoulder, and we run the hallway with the tick. We're going to see as the captain runs the hallway, or someone's going to trip over the victim. We run the hallway. We run the hallway to the next stairwell. We get off in the stairwell. If it's clear of smoke, and search the floor above. That's what we do. So now we've grossly searched. It has to be searched anyways, but now we're searching it rapidly. It was a trick question. We don't search units on the fire floor during the primary. Okay, where are the victims found? I mentioned it throughout. They're found in the common areas, the corridors, the elevator vestibules. The elevators themselves have to be searched. You talked about the line of duty death, station 13, right? The firefighter and the occupants were found in the elevator. That's where we focus our attention, on the primary. So area refuge or area rescue, this is a untenable hallway. Open the door, it's tenable. So why would you search that when we just simply don't have the staffing? No fire department does to search a tall building. We'll deal with it on the secondary. So when we look at evacuation route considerations, shelter in place, defer evacuation, zone evacuation, full evacuation, whatever you call it, look what happens when we open one door. We have positive pressure isolation. We're playing with the science behind this. Yes, it's theater smoke or artificial smoke, but we open one door and your world can change in a second. Is it coming? There it is. She gone. So we had to do some more research and development. And you know what we found? Who brings, maybe you don't want to answer this, but who brings the PPV fan up? If that was our unit on fire, we put the fan right in front of the door and we blow it out. No one say yes. You know, I'm going to be all over you for this, right? So what we found was we cause overpressurization. We have the balcony door open. We have every single window open. We overpressurize it. It needs some place to go. It comes back in the hallway. Which then goes where? The stairwells, and now we just compounded our problem.
Wellesley watches are back supporting the podcast, and honestly, it means a lot to me because this brand is built on real service heritage. Whether it's the melting down of the original 1920s British brass firefighter helmets, and they also use upcycled fire hose on all of their straps. It's not just design, it's about the job, and it's built into every single component. I've been wearing them for 10 years now. Found them back in 2015, actually, and they've genuinely been a part of my daily kit ever since. I've got two. I've got the Valiant, and I've got the Chivalrous as well in Midnight Blue. But the thing about the brand, about Wellesley watches, it stands so different because of its story. Take, for example, their Dunkirk watch. That's not just a timepiece. It's actually built to honour the Massey Shore fireboat. I'll be honest though, the one I've got my eye on this year is the Fearless. It's more of like a field watch on the station, on the watch. It's a smaller 39mm case, compact, rugged, just feels right for the job. So you can actually get 10% off a Wellesley watch by using code FFPodcast. If you want to be part of the history and you want to wear it on your wrist, jump in the notes, check out Wellesley watches. Let's get back to the show.
So fans have the variable speed on for a reason. We're excited as firefighters. We want to make our problems go away fast. Our problems go away fast by opening the nozzle. Our other problems slow down shortly after that, start on a low speed, and see what happens. Does that make sense? Okay, we're getting there. And there's exactly, we work together, by the way. He's a paid actor. Michael Reich, big fan of him. You're a big fan of him, but he explains that overpressurization, exactly what we talked about. I'm glad you're into the job. Okay, so which process is more efficient? The movement of air or locating and extricating occupants? It kind of showed how quickly that happens. So Russ and I are, this is for this, we're going to give you a deal on this. So I'm selling these here. They're $1,200 for today only. And this isn't your regular 2-inch spring clamp. This isn't regular caution tape. It's very, very expensive. Go to the hardware store and let's sell these for $1,200. So I do an article in fire engineering, and all of our firefighters carry 2 to 4 of these, and they're attached to our standpipe bag. And when we go into a building, into the lobby, we used to put this on the hinge side. So if this was the hinge side of the door, we'd put it here and we'd keep the door in the fully open position. What are we doing when we do a door in the fully open position? A door that's meant to provide compartmentalization from smoke spread. We're adding to the problem, aren't we? So what we've done now is if there was a door here, we put it on the lock side. It allows that door to close, but not lock and latch. So in the lobby door, this goes there, allows the door to close, allows our backup to get to us. We can see if the building has reverse stack effect. We can see if it has positive stack effect. When the next crew comes in, they see our 2-inch spring clamp. They have an idea. When we get off the elevator, the captain says, we're taking that stairwell. The next 2-inch spring clamp goes on the lock side, allows that door to close but not lock and latch. And if this streamer goes from the hallway to the stairwell, guess what? We know where the smoke's going to go, don't we? That next in crew comes up, and what are these also called in my world? Breadcrumbs. I get off the elevator as a second in crew. Where'd they go? They went right. How do you know? Well, I see the 2-inch spring clamp. And where do they put their 2-inch spring clamps? What is next to, well, I hope you have next to yours. Yes, you do. What's next to your doors? Hanging from the ceiling, and they're green. Nailed it! It goes on the exit signs. So now we start putting streamers all over the building at $1,200 each. Expensive, I know, is what it is. And now when I open a door on the far hallway, I can see the reacts of what's going to happen in that hallway. It's even reacting here. But this is my point. It happens so fast that this is just a little tool at very low cost that you can make work. This building's an alarm, 37th floor. The fan, see how it kicks in? It draws it and then instantly pressurizes that hallway. So what's quicker, sending firefighters up 37 stories or sending air up 37 stories? If you see a ground floor door like this, open during alarms, and you reset the alarms and it closes, it's using stack effect as a protectant. I'm not a fan of this because there's 2 different variables. Some will open and close with overpressurization. Some just open up for stack effect. Really frustrating for me because we can get reverse stack effect. And you saw the effects of opening up a door, an entrance, an exit, like you said, flow path has been created.
Brilliant. In the UK, we're reliant on the firefighter opening that door at the base of the stairs.
Here you go.
So it stays closed until the fire service turns up.
So do you think I could market that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think there's definitely a market for it.
So you see double doors and revolving doors? That's to protect the building. This is a building's envelope. If I open this set of doors, nothing's going to happen. I can go through, that door will shut, but I open 2 together. What is this happening? That's my inlet. That's moving smoke. And when you come into a building and you start opening up doors, wrecking the building's envelope, guess where this is also happening? It has to happen somewhere. We don't know 100% sure where it's happening, but it is happening somewhere, and it's happening at that same velocity. You're spreading smoke, and you don't even know where the fire is located yet. Let the building protect itself. That's in its design. Figure the rest of that stuff out later. Okay, so the 2-inch spring clamps, that's what I mean by the lock side. Allows the door to close and lock and latch. We carry them on our bunker gear, and we carry them on our standpipe kit. There it is there. And has this ever happened to you? We're ready for a firefight. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. There's the fire hose. So she opens the door and she goes, "You may know my nephew. He's a firefighter." and you're digging back in your apartment. Oh, those are going to close. Oh, do you know such and such? Oh. Well, now we lose a firefighter. They got to go down. They got to take her in an apartment. But then you got to make that decision. Do I put her back in her apartment to shelter in place? What is her mental capacity? When we start fighting this fire, is she going to open that door again? And if I'm on the same side of the fire, it's fine. She can open her door again. But if she's on the opposite side of the fire, she's going to get us killed. See the dilemma? Do I shelter her in place or do I evacuate her based on her mental status? You see how having that pigeonhole thing is not going to work? So if she does have, I'm going to take her down a flight of stairs before opening that door. That's the reality, because she has the potential to make things difficult for us. When we look at these systems as well, before we go up, is it a smoke detector by the elevator vestibule? Right, the detectors tell us our search pattern. This and critical that we don't miss that stuff. And I talked about the Mayday earlier. Just don't miss that one step, please. Get a good picture of what's happening up top. Let's talk about what's mathematically impossible. So we have stack effect, we have flow path, we have what's piston effect? Yes. And what also produces piston? Yes, the tubes. You feel it here. It's amazing. And then the building systems can work for or against you. So lithium ion, it's a big topic right now. So it was a 42-story building, and I would have done the exact same thing as this occupant. They charge their e-scooter just inside their door, their emergency exit, and sure enough, it catches on fire. What are you going to do? You're going to take it out of your apartment, aren't you? He takes it out of his apartment into the hallway. Where's the first detector that goes into alarm? In the hallway. He's thinking, oh my gosh, all my neighbors are here. Where am I going to put this e-scooter? Where do you think he put it next? Bingo. The stairwell is a modern building. It's protecting itself from fire. Now it has an unextinguishable e-scooter in the stairwell, unbeknownst to us. We get in there, yep. I think there's a 42-story building. Fire's indicated on 27. We go 2 floors below. We go 2 floors below, we open the door, there's positive pressure isolated, which means that we open that stairwell door, where's this caution tape going? It's pressurized stairwell hallway, it's coming at us. So we open the stairwell door and boom, we're instantly overwhelmed by black smoke. So what do you think we did? We closed the door. Fire's in the stairwell, isn't it? Now we start getting alarms. Top floor, ding, 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 it starts compounding. So what do? We run around to the other stairwell on the same floor that we just bailed from. We open that door crystal clear, scissor staircase. So you go up to the next floor, crystal clear. We go back to that stairwell door. Now we're a floor above. Close the door again. So these are how sometimes systems can work against us. So this is where we have to become critical thinkers.
Today's episode is proudly supported by PBI. For over 40 years, PBI has been trusted and proven in the fire service, protecting what matters most, firefighters. PBI develops high-performance protective fabrics designed for the realities of the fire ground, with a focus on flame resistance, low thermal conductivity, break-open protection, durability, and comfort. Because when conditions change quickly, your PPE has to do more than just look the part. It has to perform again and again under heat, stress, wear, and real operational use. We're incredibly proud to partner with PBI because their work sits exactly where this podcast lives. Firefighter safety, education, innovation, and helping crews better understand the protection they really rely on every single day. To learn more, visit PBI Products and explore the science behind the fabrics protecting firefighters around the world. Let's get back to the show.
Okay, so we have 10 different ventilation tactics. We have to look at evacuation tactics, 10 for 10. That's what we have on our apparatus. We have the carts, we have the fans, we have the battery redundancy, we have a stair climber that's battery powered. Again, depending on our setup, is it a subway, is it bad terrain, or is it a lift? We spell our lift this way, you spell it a little bit differently over here. That's fine. I can spell your way a lot easier. And then we train for this type of stuff. Those are our subway cards. People with disabilities. People with disabilities, if we really, really start thinking about them, it's actually going to help us when we start bringing this equipment into the building. There's probably less of them evacuating, which means we can actually use that option. We may only have 1 or 2 people to contend with. So if you include people with disabilities into your plan, it's going to work for you getting in and out. And I talked about that. Yeah, we have options now. How heavy is a photocopy machine? How heavy are the weights that they put on our lift systems? How do they get them up there? Well, they have these chairs that can lift that type of stuff. Peeps, I heard someone say it. You're from London? Someone over here said Peeps? You know what that stands for? Personal vac. So, you know, if you're a caregiver and the alarm goes off, am I just going to say I'm going to shelter in place right now? Or are you going to say, you know what? The fire brigade's not going to get here for 6 minutes. Then they have a 6-minute vertical response time. You know what? I'm going to get them out. You know, I think I'm confident about getting them out. But do they need an elevator? Can they use a stairwell? So all of these variables come into play as you're a caregiver when you come up with your PEEPS plan, because you might say, I can't. I am 100% reliant on the elevator. We are sheltering in place. Or I can get them to a stairwell. Where is the fire? All these variables come into play. The different systems that are out there. Yeah, I love this system, by the way. So when you put the glass on the door, and I'm not going to open that door if I see that glass all black. I think it's brilliant. It's a great idea. I have options for people with disabilities, but could you be a person with disability? What were you were complaining about your knee earlier. Mm-hmm. So you may not be evacuation, maybe 2 weeks in that window, but wouldn't it be nice to have that? Or wouldn't it be nice, even today, right? You'd love to have it. Or can I talk to someone in the lobby, not from another country, from that box? You know what I mean when I say other country? Yeah. Right? The elevators? I'm talking to someone in another country right now who's going to help me in Canada. So anyway, that's a story for another day. So when we do our hands-on stuff, we get these donated buildings, we put on, do not search a closed door. We write, it's called passive learning. And I encourage you to start doing this in your stations. Give them that passive learning. We also call it potty training. They're above the urinals and the stalls. Put the passive training in so they start getting the sets and reps. Because when caca goes bad, like what happened to John, and he's right-handed, when he gets cooked, he goes right-handed. Also with people with disabilities, what is this? It's a retrofit project. So when I see that, where's my priority? So all the way down the hallway, where would my priority be? Well, it's a person with disabilities. They need our help. I can also look at the door. 2 sight glasses. What does that tell me? Yeah. How about this? Oh, I know what I did here. Ready? You ever go get an eye test? Better on 1 or better on 2? Better on 3, better on 4. I'm going to do that to you. Better on 1, better on 2. Better on 1, better on 2. Better on 1, better on 2. What's the difference? Nailed it. You don't need glasses. But what do we tell our firefighters about, this is an outward swinging door, that's an inward swinging door, this has 2 sight glasses? He caught it? Yeah. We tell our firefighters that if it's an inward swinging door, it's a unit. If it's an outward swinging door, it's utilities or a stairwell door. Not true, is it? Which door is harder to force, this one or this one? Which one may have that big, giant automatic door closure? This is going to be difficult. You need to know that now. And we teach our firefighters outward swinging, inward swinging unit. Outward swinging is common areas as well. So the writing that we have in our books with the new design processes, it's not the same, is it? This is what I mean. You have to firefighting is a lifelong education. It really is. And it wouldn't kill us to learn 4 hand signs either for people that can't hear. All right, what's the best known practice for making entry? This is what we do here. That's 8 seconds worth of water application before it loops. That's it, 8 seconds. And all my problems go away. Look how much water. So I talked about when the floor gets wet, what happens? I hit the ceiling. Yes, it can't flash over. I hit the ceiling for contraction. I hit the ceiling for them. I tag the floor for us. Ceiling for them, floor for us, them first before us. I hit the ceiling. All our problems go away. When I hit the ceiling, it turns to that giant pizza slice and tracks across. The same thing works when I'm in here and I hit this wall surface. The smooth bore hits it, turns to a giant pizza slice and tracks at 60 miles an hour, 100-foot reach of stream. It hits that, it falls to the ground. Very little movement, actually. So I caused contraction. Now I need to go for extinguishment. That's where I need water placement. And if I was to flow that line for 13 seconds, it's a 55-gallon drum. That's it. So if I pushed a 55-gallon drum right here over the floor, is it catastrophic? No, it's not catastrophic. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of water.
Huh?
A lot of water with the.
Oh, it's a lot of water at once.
Yeah, but if ever they make a problem with the elevators,
They do.
water,
Big time.
because it got sprinkled.
If the building is sprinklered, though, things change. So I love these questions, and this is why we need to have this dialogue. So if your building is sprinklered, before you get on the lift, that's a new word for me, I used to say elevator, you'll see 2 holes. If you see 2 holes, that building is designed for water to weep down the shaft. It's in the design. If you see a grate on a commercial structure, which the sprinklers can put out more, that is the elevator that you take. I got great pictures of that. So where I have a line of elevators, one's got a grate, that's the firefighter elevator. Or, because right now we would typically open the shaft, hoistway, and look up, we see water, I'm not taking it. If the building is sprinklered and it has those, it's meant to weep in the shaft.
Firefighter left, so that firefighter left, you're talking about the left leading up to the entrance, so move to the one.
So you guys already know this. This is great.
We use flood barriers.
And what?
We use flood barriers.
Flood barriers as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. You'll also notice, and I want you guys to start checking your residential buildings. Your residential building should have a 1/2-inch threshold in front of every single door. Where you don't see the thresholds are on the stairwell doors, and you don't see them on commercial properties either. Which means that floor plate can fill up with a 1/2 inch of water before it spills down the elevator shaft or the stairwell. We're not worried about water. However, to your point, water from our hose streams is the one that creates that damage to the elevators. These are great question. So there's our door control. Now, am I struggling with nozzle reaction? Why not? Yeah, take it to the ground. We had a female firefighter. Her name's Ches. She was the one earlier on in that presentation I showed you about. She's the one that showed us how to move 2.5-inch hose line. Unbelievable. She changed the fire service globally. She doesn't even know it yet. We hire 100 recruits. I told you this story. And we used to put 9 on the 65. Why? Well, it's got 120 pounds worth of water weight. You need a bunch of firefighters on it. So we did a study. We had a bunch of firefighters on it, and we got rid of one, got rid of one, got rid of one, got rid of you. So now we have 2 firefighters on the line. You can move a 65-millimeter hose easier with 2 firefighters than you can with 3. I know this is way out of sorts, because I know you're just not going to believe it until you go and try it. It's the 3rd firefighter that screws it up. What do you think that is? It's a big hose, got a lot of weight in it. When the 3rd firefighter picks up that hose, I just gave them weight. The 3rd firefighter has nothing to do. If they do this, I move those 2 firefighters. If I pull back, it's a totem pole. If I pull back, they move them. And what does the 3rd firefighter want to do? They want to look. They do this. I am fighting, the 3rd firefighter is slowing down the projection of them being comfortable flowing that line, because I'm not struggling. My backup firefighter, they're not allowed to pick up the hose if I'm flowing it. Why not? It takes my nozzle reaction farther behind that. It's like electricity. The backup firefighter backs up the nozzle firefighter by doing this, putting a foot on it. If it's too hot, they put a knee on it. I can flow that line unsupported all day long, 100 pounds of nozzle reaction by taking it to ground. But your 45 millimeter, now I'm into this position, coming across my body. I'm going to be taking 69 pounds of force. I need the heel firefighter to get on my back to keep that into me. I would rather flow a 65 millimeter hose line or a 77 millimeter hose line before I flow a 45 in my world, because I don't pick it up. But how do you advance it? High heat, low drag is what it's called. We don't pick it up. And this is what Ches showed us how to do. High heat, low drag is I drag the line. I'm 200 pounds, it's 120. I can easily move that line doing the high heat, low drag. I don't pick it up. What happens if I can't pick it up? We add to the front. We're only moving 120 pounds. is actually lighter than the 45. So that's our tactic. Hit the ceiling, let it track, move in 5 feet. I just took the largest square footage in most units out at the doorway, and then I can worry about my little rooms. Use reach to stream. Take water to the fire, not the nozzle. Perfect. And why do we do that? Because of this here. So this is your NIST study. Windows intact. That's your hallway. We break the window, or they break the window. Watch how quickly those conditions change in the hallway. I don't care how much water you have. You're going to be in trouble if it's wind impacted. There it is. And you're going to finish that up.
Hit the camera.
It happens instantaneous, just like the caution tape. So there's Ches. Again, I tell you, she's the smallest female firefighter we had. She's dialed in. She's actually standing up there. I'm kidding, she's not. So what we did with Ches, we said, we want you to fight a door with an automatic door closure on it. So the backup firefighter gives slack. Ches is controlling how much that door opens because it's got an automatic door closure. She takes the nozzle on the door, she opens it, brings it back, the door closes. Then the next door, we take the automatic door closure off, and the door control firefighter controls smoke and heat movement based on her stream placement. Total game changer. So now we got 2 sets of doors at the academy for these type of situations with door control working with. And where's the backup firefighter? Are they lifting the hose? No. Why? It's heavy. Why would you pick it up? A 45, I'd pick it up, not a 65. So here is a great fire. Notice the wind conditions. My apologies if you like cats. There's a ridiculous amount of cats falling from this building, by the way. That is wind impacted. There's one. The team hits it. They're not knowing if it's right-handed or left-handed. They hit it, and they get the knockdown and larger square footage. The nozzle firefighter, there's another cat, is right-handed, so they naturally go to the right and take out the bathroom, and then they go to the right. 1,200 square foot apartment, fully involved with a bunch of cats, and they take it within 5 feet inside because they're using reach to stream. They're using the surfaces to cause contraction, and then we're worried about the fire. Any more cats? My apology if you like cats.
Well, that's it for today, folks. Hope you took a lot away from that episode. We started the Firefighters podcast to develop, inspire, connect, motivate, represent, and most importantly, celebrate the world of incredible emergency services operators and the wider sector through this series of wide-ranging conversations. We really love creating this podcast and bringing it to so many people. Did you know you can also find these on YouTube? We do a lot of video podcasts now. You can head over to our YouTube page and follow, subscribe there. And as a final ask from us, whatever platform you're on, please rate the podcast. It really helps us as a key performance indicator to reach more and more people. I've been your host, Pete Wakefield. This has been the Firefighters podcast. And wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be happy, and where possible, please remember and support your firefighters and first responders. I'll see you next time.